Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I am going to be showing you guys my curriculum picks for my first grader. Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I'm a homeschool mom of 4 boys and we are from the States, so we currently live overseas in Cambodia. My son, who is going to be going into first grade, he is 6 years old and he'll be turning 7 at the beginning of this school year. He is very easy to teach and a joy to teach. He doesn't have any learning difficulties, and for the most part you teach him something and review it once or twice and then he more or less has it, and so it's enjoyable to teach him. So I am just going to go ahead and dive into this video. We're going to start with language arts. So for language arts, we're doing The Good and the Beautiful. This is teaching him how to read. We finished up The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts K and we're moving on to level 1. So this here is the main course book and I printed this myself. This is half of it. My spiral binding that I have, I can only do like around 85 to 100 pages in it, and so this is the other half here. So yeah. We will be starting on this. He's excited to start it. He actually, there's like a test evaluation thing at the beginning the child has to do before they can start this one, and he already did that. He was so excited today. He was asking if he can do level 1 and I told him he can, but then he got busy playing. We're still officially on summer break here. So we are going to be doing this one here and he's excited for it. These here I did not print myself. My mom sent these over in a box. I prefer to have stuff printed and bought from the company. It's a lot better quality, the paper's a lot thicker, the binding is a lot better, and also the pictures are a lot brighter and more colorful. And for first grade, I think when you're working so hard learning to read, it's important to have pictures to help draw you in and make you want to read the thing. So she shipped these over to me. I did print the books myself because weight is definitely a big factor and it's very expensive the more weight you have. Right. And so this here is Reading Booster B cards. This goes with the language arts, and we had level A last year, so we're familiar with this. So what it has like card numbers up here, and it prompts you in the main lesson when to go over different cards, and when the child has mastered it, they can put a sticker back here. And the way back here is stickers. And so it's just kind of a little reward for the child. And if the child is learning to read faster than what they're learning the other stuff in the course book, they can get ahead in this one. And it tells you that in the instructor's guide. And then this here is Reading Booster B books. So like first grade books. There is 20 books in here. So this is book 1. You can see the little one up here. And this is about how much reading is per page in here. And then I'll also show you book 20. And this one here has a lot more words per page, but still has bright, beautiful pictures that help the child to be pulled in and to want to read it. I like the packaging on this one. It's really cute packaging and makes it more fun to use. My children are playing around here. If you hear them, they're just playing. This here is sight word flashcards. I picked this up from Christian Light Education, their store, a year ago when we were back in the States, and they just have words like could, and then on the back is a sentence that goes with it using the word. And this has worked really, really well for him. I maybe like tell him the word and then review it like 2 times, and after that he pretty much has it, and he'll say the sentence like word for word. Like it just some reason sticks in his brain and works really well with the picture for him. So I've been really happy with how easy sight words have been using these with this child. So this technically goes with Christian Light's their learning to read program. So the sight words in here are a little different than the sight words that are in the Good and Beautiful Language Arts, but most of them are in here and I just pull them out. They're in different order, but I just pull them out as the Good and the Beautiful introduces different sight words. Okay, the next thing I have to do with learning to read is this here is Explode the Code. It's kind of like phonetic work, and so he did 1 last year, and so he's moving on to 2, and it's just a lot of work with, working with phonetics and sounds of words. And he just does 1 page in there a day. This here is something I picked up when my older boys were this age, Helping Yourself, a seat workbook for first grade, and this is a lot of stuff to do with letters. And this is a lot of stuff to do with letters, but mostly independent work. And then this is just a continuation from last year. He draws a picture and has to write a sentence, and each day he adds onto a story. He also can do some notebooking in here. This summer we have been doing Beautiful Pete picture books, and so he's been putting some stuff from that in here. And so this is something great for him to work on while I'm doing read alouds with him. This is handwriting. So this is from The Good and Beautiful, and it's level 1. So last year in kindergarten, his book was just like half a size. And so this year he was really excited that he gets a full size page for his handwriting because his big brothers have that, and he was quite excited to have one like they have. So it starts out really simple. They have to just practice staying on the line and tracing, and then eventually it starts them writing and they have to stay in the box. And then here you can see they're tracing letter A and letter S. And then they also are supposed to try writing their first name up here. And if they don't know how, they're supposed to have a parent write it and then they can trace it. And then at the bottom it says, copy the flowers. And so I really like how the Good and Beautiful usually has some kind of art activity at the bottom that says color the picture. And it's just kind of like a little reward for the child. And I think it helps to make handwriting more fun. Here's a dot to dot. All right, moving on to math. For Creed, I am doing Christian Light Education math with him. And he is ahead in his math. He's going to first grade, but he is going to be doing second grade math this year. Last year he did first grade math and he did really well with it. This boy's brain, numbers just, he does really well with numbers. When he's falling asleep at night, he'll count by 2s just for fun or by 3s, or he can do pretty big math problems in his head, and he wants to learn multiplication. I told him, I don't think you learn until 3rd grade, because that's how it was with my twins. With the curriculum that they used. But anyway, this one here, it actually does introduce multiplication at the way end. So he was really excited about that. I just told him that today and he was really happy about that. So Christian Light Education math, the way their math is, it has these little light units and there's 10 lessons and a test in each light unit. And so each time you finish 10 lessons, you get a whole new book, and so it's kind of fun that way. So for example, here's the next book and it's just another light unit like that. So here is all 10. And like I said, till the end, he will be doing multiplication. Very simple, basic multiplication, but he was excited about that. And then this is the teacher guides. This is the first half, and then this is the second half. It's kind of nice. You don't have to be carrying around one huge book. You just have 2 smaller books, and the other one can sit on the shelf when you're not using it. These here are seconds. My mom lives pretty close to where Christian Light Education store is, and so she went in there actually with my grandma, and they got this curriculum for me, and I was really happy about that. And seconds are just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It maybe has just been on their display shelf for a bit or something like that. So yeah. I chose Christian Light Math for this son in particular because numbers and his brain work really well together. He just gets stuff. Falling asleep at night, he likes to count by 2s or count by 3s or do math problems in his head just for fun. And his math, he is able to do it pretty independently. And so that's what I really like about using Christian Light Education. He will often come in here while I'm making breakfast in the morning, and he can do part of his math, like the I can do part by himself as a section is all review. And then sometimes he can even figure out like the new thing for that day by himself. If it's something I have to teach him, I usually can just teach it to him and then he's got it and he's good to go. So I really like that about the math, that it's so independent and child-led. And then with Christian Light Education, there is also speed drills. We don't always do them, but I do have like a timer and we do them sometimes. And then I also have like a bigger clock and some fake money and stuff like that, just so we have some hands-on manipulatives to go along with our stuff, just for fun. Kind of to go along with math, I have some mazes here. This here, my mom sent with me when she sent out other stuff. And this is just mazes from 1 to 101, and so he will enjoy doing these. Probably just do one a day, or when he feels like it, do them. Okay, for this child, for science and history for first grade, I don't view it as a big deal. I just have 2 books here, and we will not do this but like twice a week or once a week even maybe. So I have 2 books from Abeka. These are really old ones. I used them with my twins when they were this age and have kept them. And this is just a science one, and it just goes through and introduces different things about health. And I really like that because it includes manners too. And I thought that was really great. I don't necessarily read all of the words to him. We'll just go through and look at the pictures and talk about it. And some of the stuff I do read, it depends how it's written. And then this one here is My America and My World for first grade from Rebecca, and it just goes through and introduces different things about America and their world, and very simple and basic and appropriate for first grade. Okay, next of all, I have a few books here kind of in like the critical thinking category and logic. Both of these books are from the Critical Thinking Co. I like their stuff, and this one is Can You Find Me, and it can be for K or first grade, and it has like a little poem, and then they have to figure out which one it is. So I remember doing this one with my twins, and they enjoyed it, and we flew through it pretty fast. And then same with this one, it can be for K, for kindergarten or first grade. This one is more like logic, and you have to remember stuff and figure out stuff. And again, we went through this one pretty fast with my twins. I'm guessing this guy will go through it fast too. This one here is Lollipop Logic. And it has different logic puzzles inside. And this one here is Critical Thinking from Skill Sharpeners for first grade. And I use this with my twins. So some pages in here are done and some definitely are not done. And we will not do this whole book. I am just gonna pick pages from here and have him do it. Maybe just on Fridays. Fridays we tend to do fun school and do a lighter load. And so maybe this will be something that he'll do only on Fridays. Okay, and the last big category I have is literature. For him and my preschooler, they're going to be doing Sunlight this year. This is the big binder. And this here is Core P from Sunlight, Exploring God's World. It's technically for ages 4 to 5, but I'm going to be doing it with my preschooler and my first grader, and I think it'll work good. We did the level before this one last year and really enjoyed it. With this here, I don't do it during my school time. I started this last year. I do their Sunlight at bedtime. They're more relaxed and calm and cuddly, and we sit together on the bed in the AC. Here where we live, it is hot, 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 and it's so hot that you don't want to snuggle and read books unless you're in AC. So this here is the schedule for this core. This core is 4 days a week. Last year it was just 3 days, is less. I'm glad it's not a 5-day. So with this, there's a Bible portion, there's a read aloud portion, there's a pre-reading and writing skills, there's pre-math, there's science, and additional subjects. They have like music, and they introduce Spanish words just a little bit. And in the additional subjects, they have developing the early learner. I'll probably just be doing that with my preschooler and show that in his video. They introduce some words in Spanish. They have practical life skills like washing a bowl, washing a cup, cutting a piece of bread. They send a little plastic knife along with the preschool kit box, which again, that would probably be more for my preschooler than my first grader. And there's also a music section, and they will give you different songs that often go along with what the Bible lesson was for that day. You can get an optional CD from them. I did not get that, so usually just with a quick internet search you can find the song if you don't know it and can sing it with your children. I really appreciate those suggestions that they give it. There's usually one song per week. And then after the schedule page, Sunlight has some pages like this that tell you as the teacher like what questions to ask, and it has you introduce like a different shape each week, a different letter, and a different number. I believe last year we learned numbers 1 through 10. This year it's focusing on numbers 11 through 20 and has different activity suggestions for them to do, different things they do with the shapes. So up here in the Bible part, they have you read the story, and then there's questions for you to ask your child to see how well they understood it. And they also have a memory verse and also a character quality. So they suggest teaching the memory verse to your child on Monday and reviewing it every day and making hand motions with it, and they have a suggestion here for different motions. And then the character quality, like this one here is attentiveness. Talk about a way that you can practice it that week, like maybe when you go to church you can pay attention. I think for the second week it's like faith, and then the third week is generosity, so that's an easy one to practice then throughout the week and talk about. So then there's lots of stories and like social awareness and different subjects like that. Science is covered a bit in this core. So I'm just going to show you guys the books a little bit here. It's a big stack of books. So first of all, I'm going to show you the books here that kind of have to do with Bible. This here is 101 favorite stories from the Bible, and it has each lesson is like a 2-page spread, so you read the story, and then there's usually 3 questions you're supposed to ask your child. And then in the Sunlight Instructor's Guide, they maybe will have additional suggestions for you to talk about. This here is the Children's Book of Virtues, and this has like poems and stories, and all of them teach kind of a good moral lesson. And so you can ask the child, like, what lesson can we learn from this story? And in the instructor's guide, again, they have different prompts for you. And these are 2 kind of like missionary stories. New Toes for Tia. I actually haven't read it yet. I just think that's what it is. And then The Gods Must Be Angry. And this is about a child living in Thailand. All right, so I have got a big stack of books here. I have not read these books yet, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about them. I'll do that later in like our mid-year review and end-of-year review. So come back for those if you want to see those. So on the top here is a CD, and this is American Tall Tales it's from The Well-Trained Mind and as told by Jim Wise. So I really enjoy his voice. A lot of people do, and he does a good job with audiobooks and stories and stuff like that for children. So this here, we don't have a CD player here in our schoolroom, so we're gonna have to figure out how to do that yet. Probably what will happen is my husband will burn it off onto our home computer and then put it on my phone, and then I just can access it on my phone. These little books here are in the science category. This is Why Do Tires Have Stripes? And What's Under the Sea. And these are in typical Usborne style. They're colorful little books with lots of facts. It's not really a story, but lots of interesting pictures and facts and stuff. You probably just read like 1 page a day or something. I'm not sure. Okay, this here is more in the history category, then and now, and this is a Usborne Talk About book. So I was just looking through it now. It looks like there's not a whole lot of words. It's pictures, and then you're supposed to talk about it, I believe. And I'm guessing they give tips on what to point out. The next one here is called Uncle Wiggily's Storybook. And this is a pretty big book. So there's some pictures, not a whole lot. I wonder if it's one big story or if it's multiple little stories. I don't know. It's a new book for me. That'd be exciting. I like new books. This one here is Usborne Stories from Around the World, and this one has short stories in from all different countries and cultures, and some about their religion also. Okay, the next few here are science again. This one here is How to Dig a Hole to the Other Side of the World. I have seen this one on YouTube videos talking about when people are showing books from Sunlight Cores, and I'm always curious, like, what is that one? That sounds so interesting. So I'm excited that I finally get to read it this year. Yay. All right, and then I have 3 here that are from kind of like the same series. This one here is How Do You Lift a Lion? What's smaller than a pygmy screw? Is a blue whale the biggest thing there is? And these are exactly the type of questions that kids ask. So here is what the inside looks like of them. Bright, colorful pictures, not too much words, just what I believe my little boys will like. This one here is Dr. Seuss ABC. This, I believe, is one of the first books you read, and like the first week you're introducing letter F, the sound of F, and so you just read the letter F page in this book, that's all. This one here, we also start on the first week. It's the Lion Storyteller bedtime book, and this has short stories in it. Ooh, it's getting dark in here. The sun must have went behind a cloud. We did the very first lesson in the Sunlight Core last night at bedtime. This was the story we read, and it's The Mouse and the Lion, and it's such a sweet story, and both my boys were sitting and listening and like, oh, how's the mouse gonna help the lion? What's gonna happen? And so it was cute. The Bearstein Bears Big Book of Science, and this here is a really cute book. I mean, it just goes through, talks a lot about like months of the year and different seasons and nature, and just introduces the child to all those different things. And so you read like 4 pages maybe in one day, and yeah. This is a really big book here. This is called A Child's Book of Art, and it just has different famous paintings. And in the Instructor's Guide to Sunlight, they will tell you like different things to look for in the paintings, or different things to practice counting, or colors, or different stuff like that to do with your child. So this one here is called People, and this is just about all the different kinds of people that are in the world. And I don't really know what all it's about. I haven't read it yet, but I'm guessing like social awareness, I don't know. This here is called The Year at Maple Hill Farm, and we read the first book, I believe, in this series last year, and we loved it. It's such a cute, fun series, and I'm guessing we'll love this one too. This is the first 1,000 words in Spanish, and so this is a look and find book. So it just has all the words in Spanish. So we'll probably do this, and we're not necessarily learning Spanish, but we'll just practice saying the word once or twice and move on probably. This is Usborne book, Things People Do. This is really good, like this age, you're trying to teach people what all different, at this age you're trying to teach children like what all different jobs are out there and about the world around them. And yeah, here is All About the School Teacher. Here is All About the Baker. This here is the first 1,000 words in English, and so you can go through here and pick out the things. I think my boys will really enjoy this book. This here is Eric Carlisle, Animals, and we love Brown Bear around this house. It's written by the same author, and my boys have it memorized, and my 4-year-old goes around the house reading that book. And we have a few other of his also, I can't talk, but we don't have this one, so it'll be fun to read this one and see what it's like. And then, oh, this could probably go with the Bible section. Stories from Africa. So I'm guessing it looks like 1-page stories in here, so that'll be interesting to read. And then this year has one big read aloud. This is called The Millie Molly Mandy Storybook. I guess that Uncle one might have been a big read aloud too. Yeah, so this is what the inside looks like. There's some pictures, but yeah, mostly text, and it's meant for me to read aloud to them. There's a nice big map. So I don't know how my 4-year-old would do with sitting and listening to a book this long. Obviously you don't read all at one time. It depends how long the readings are each day. But my 6-year-old will probably really be into it. My 4-year-old will too if it's the right type of book. I have not read this book before, so I don't know. Okay, that is it for Sunlight. And then I just had 2 more things here. This is kind of like an art book, and it is a drawing a day. It's an Usborne 1 tear-off pad, and it's still in the plastic. I haven't opened it yet. I found this at a store here. I was really excited. Yeah, so it has creative drawing prompts for him, and he can just do 1 a day. And I think that'd be a good thing for him to do when I'm doing school with his brothers, or we could save him up and do on Friday when we have our Fun Friday. We'll see. I'm not sure. And then his second language that he is kind of learning, I'm kind of doing it with his older brothers also, is Khmer. And I got a language learning folder from JDA on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it just goes through like, we practiced numbers until we had it memorized, and then we practiced numbers to 30 till we had those memorized. And then we went over colors and body parts, and we'll keep reviewing the other ones and then just keep adding and going on till they have it memorized. So we'll just keep working through this folder. We are only like a 4th into it. So yeah, we will keep working on this. They play with neighbor kids a lot who speak Khmer, but the neighbor children want to speak English with my boys when they come because everyone here wants to learn English. So my boys can understand quite a bit of Khmer, but they don't speak it much, and what they know is just like really simple phrases and stuff like that. And so I would love for them to learn more. So we'll keep plugging away at this. For my first grader, it's not gonna be hardcore. I just wanna encourage it. And then this is my son's to-do list. I made this one for kindergarten. I have not made his first grade one yet. He did not use it much. I made one for him and his 2 older brothers. And the older brothers used it a lot, and it really helped them to like be more independent with their work and stay motivated and cross off things when they're done and try to be done by lunch. For him, because he wasn't reading very much yet in kindergarten, like CBC words and stuff like that, it was a little hard for him because he couldn't quite read it. So I had made him one here that I just drew the pictures for him to do. And again, he's still, I think he's just a little young. He was not very motivated by it. So I will try probably making one for this year for him. It just helps me to get organized in my brain, like what needs to happen. But I'm not necessarily going to require him to cross off his things as he does them. Most of his stuff he needs me to do with him, like his language arts and sunlight and stuff like that. The only thing he can really do by himself is his math, and even that he still needs me some. And then he will also possibly be joining a PE class for this upcoming school year. We meet with some other homeschool families here. And yeah, so that is our plan for first grade, and I'm very excited for it, and he's excited too. That is all I have to show you. I hope this video is helpful and gives you ideas and encouragement if you are looking at curriculum and trying to get ideas to homeschool a first grader. Please click that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. It helps promote this video and helps other people be able to see it. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.